What up, what up? Welcome on in to Inside Baylor Sports, the official daily podcast of Baylor Athletics. On today's show, we are discussing our full uniform lineup for Baylor football in 2024. Plus, we preview next week's NCAA Division I Track and Field Championships in Eugene for your Baylor Bears. All that and more coming up on the show. Don't forget, you can watch the video version of Inside Baylor Sports for free over at BaylorPlus.com and on the Baylor Athletics YouTube channel. Growing, getting close to 130,000 subscribers over on our Baylor Athletics YouTube channel. Top 5 in the country. Go like, subscribe, rate, and review the pod, and also subscribe to Baylor Athletics on YouTube. Follow Baylor Plus today on X, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. It's the official content network of Baylor Athletics. Think Netflix for your Baylor Bears. Download the app on your mobile device and sign up for your free 7-day trial today at BaylorPlus.com. It's Friday, May 31st, 2024. Justin Hoff alongside the Baylor Bear Insider. You know him better as Jerry Hill. It's our final show of the season, Jerry, and a great way to finish out the year. Uniform reveal, get to talk about all 4 uniform, solids and combos and all sorts of crazy stuff you can do there. But we're talking jerseys today for Baylor football. We can provide some insight into the jerseys, the content strategy, the process behind it, and thoughts kind of moving forward. But, Jerry, now you've seen all 4 uniforms. I know you kept poking me. Hey, can you send this over? Can you send me this? No, Jerry, I'm not sending you stuff. We're not letting anything leak out. But you finally have seen them. Your thoughts?
Great. I mean, I was excited. I was excited even on the first round, but certainly on the ones that were released, the last one that was released on Thursday. I think it's probably what most of the Baylor fans were waiting to see, at least something like that. And, to me, they all really popped, Justin. I don't know if that was one of the goals or not, but I thought they all, really popped in a way, and they'll look good on TV, that kind of thing. But yeah, I was definitely impressed. And like I said, I think that last one kind of sent a message to the fans, not that necessarily that, we're listening to you, but this is for you. This is the one maybe that you've been waiting for. But so I thought it was great. I thought the whole thing, we've talked about it before, that, I'm a little bit more old school, that, I'm not a big uniform guy. But like I said, I think I said this Tuesday, I love the white. The white just looks clean. And then you have a little bit of, striping on the shoulders. Man, that to me looks so clean. And maybe that's a little bit of the old school as well. But I just thought as a whole group, though, very impressive.
You're traditional, Jerry. You are old school. You are old school, the historian for Baylor Athletics. So, of course, you would fit that mold really well, being old school, and we need to, be able to have a little bit. That's the challenge of college athletics, right? You're catering to people who will maybe attend Baylor. So you're catering to teenagers, young people. Even my 15-month-old baby boy, Maximus, he doesn't even know about Baylor, but you're going to cater to him. And then you got to cater to that kind of, 20 to 35 range, and the 35 to 55, then another, 55 and over. So it's always a challenge there. But yeah, let's jump into this. So I think a couple things. So these uniforms, obviously, they don't just happen overnight. This is something that was obviously being planned, and it's been 5 years since we rolled out some new uniforms. And so, I think the last couple months really dove in on the strategy here. How are we going to release them? When are we going to release them? What does that look like? And knowing that, hey, you're working with the playbook. How everything looks. You got the blueprint in front of your face as you're building out this content strategy. And of course, as a fan, I want everything now, right? We live in a society, we don't want to wait for anything. If I'm at Christmas, I want the best gift and the biggest gift first. I do want that, but really I need to wait until that one's the last one up. I do want the first one, but obviously that's going to make the rest of it bad. Like everything after that is just not the same, right? And so I'm going to wait for that big gift from Santa Claus last. Okay, I'm opening up the PlayStation 5 last, not first. Because if I open up first, I'll be honest, I might not remember what gifts I gave. Yeah. I'm lost. Like I'm thinking about other stuff, and I'm focused in just on that. So yeah, looking forward to EA Sports here real soon. But in any event, yeah, so the piece to that was we wanted to own as much real estate as possible on social media. Okay. And so you think about this, everything that we planned over the last 2 months in terms of content and strategy and social media rollout, we didn't change it one bit. We didn't change it one bit, not one hair. And so you think about last Tuesday, we teased, hey, when the uniforms are coming out. We didn't say all of them are coming out at once. Well, spoil the party. Let's enjoy this over a couple of days. So 528, you saw that. We rolled out the first 3 uniforms, and really, a great opportunity with those uniforms. I know in the release, it says that you can have as many options as 64 different color combinations. We showed those in solids, but I think there's a lot of opportunities with combinations of the stripe, as you're saying. The stripe really opens it up to do a lot of different things there. And so we'll see what the future holds. No predictions there, but we'll see what the future holds on those. But yeah, so we rolled out those 3 first. We wanted to build hype. We wanted to get those 3 out there. I think we talked about this before. It's a divisive topic. We know there's going to be detractors. I mean, there can be 10 people in a room, our 10 creatives, right? We're not all going to agree about it. That's just how these things go. Like a car color, there's a lot of preferences here and a lot of options, and everybody doesn't know exactly everything that happens behind the scenes here. And so, but great partners in Nike. And so, yeah, went with the first 3. And mind you, when we released the uniforms, the black ones and some of the grays and some of the other things we did 10, 11, 12 years ago, that had negative publicity. Black is that not a school color, and there was a lot going on there. So I don't care how you slice it, you're gonna get some negativity. So you weather the storm and you hold on. And so rolled that out on Tuesday. Got lots of great engagement. You got On3, you got PFF College, you got a bunch of people talking about Baylor football when they wouldn't be talking about Baylor football. It's late May, and so great opportunity Tuesday to kind of be around the web. Wednesday, kept it going. A little bear claw in the morning, all by design. Okay. Once again, this was planned out a month ago of what we're putting here. So every little bit, every little tease, every little Easter egg, all the little Taylor Swift stuff, all planned out just to continue the conversation. And so then Wednesday night, we show Ketron Jackson, which is a cool part of this. We had former players or current players, active players that modeled the jerseys. A lot of times you have models and different things like that. So Ketron, Josh Cameron, Caden Jenkins, Richard Reese, all, did this. And these were filmed early May. We filmed these. So, this takes a while. These productions, this is a lot of work. I mean, this is 2, 3, 4 weeks of work put in on this stuff. And we're talking about a crew of 10 or larger involved in this. And so you do all that, and then you build the hype for 10 a.m. on Thursday. And 10 a.m. on Thursday, you give the fans what you feel they're going to really like. And we knew what we had. And these uniforms are impressive. The anthracite nods to the 13, 14 teams, the claw on the shoulders, or on the sleeves, I should say. Joe Gonzalez creating that claw. Great job working with Nike on that one. And the helmets are strong. We got the Baylor across the chest. A nice, stripe on the pants, gold lettering with the dark uniform. So it's kind of, the anthracite's almost like a mix between the gray and the black, combining the two. And you can do a lot of fun things with those. And so just really excited about that. Knew our fans would really gravitate towards that uniform. You release that one first, much like Christmas. And then you release the other 3 uniforms. They're going to take the positivity and some of that's going to turn to negativity. And also, in some cases, that's just a one-day deal. We got this for 3 days. And so you had it last week too, and took a page out of some of the NFL teams and some of the other reveals and watching what they're doing and where we can really extend the coverage here. And so I think, hey, it worked out really well. Down to a T, A+ effort, exactly how we wanted it to go, really every step of the way. And so these aren't just things where someone's a keyboard warrior behind the doors and saying, oh, this comment was bad, I'm posting this. No, this is much more, planned out than that. There's an actual strategy built into all this stuff. And so really appreciate all our fans holding on, right? the best things kind of come to those who wait. And that's exactly what happened on Thursday. And I think as they go into the weekend, they're going to be really excited about what we can do. I mean, once again, 64 different combos. That's the combinations you could do with the stripe. It opens up a lot of opportunity, and you got the anthracite, you got the dark uniform back. Really excited about this. It got a little bit of Batman vibes going on with that uniform.
Yeah, like I said, I really liked the anthracite. I mean, I still think white is probably my favorite, but anthracite I think is one of those that you can get people talking about. That's one I'm not going to say everybody will get excited about it, but I think a lot of people will get excited about that particular combination. Justin, I was going to ask you a little bit about this. This may be a little bit behind the curtains. I don't know if you can answer this or not. You just talked about, the players were modeling this back in May. I'm curious, maybe the fans are too, like, how did they get designed? Was there a committee? Is this all Nike? How did that come about? How did these combinations come about?
Yeah, I mean, there's a mixture of a lot of things. I think you got a lot of difference, between administration and the football staff and Nike and different things like that. And I think it's important to note there's templates on some of these, and so you think about the green, white, and golds, and you got limitations to what you can put there. That alternate kind of opens up, a new opportunity for you. And that's where the claws kind of come in. And there's opportunities like where you can stick the claw and different things like that. So without diving into too many details,
Right.
There's a lot of things that it's not just a blank canvas. We can just be like, oh, let's just put it wherever, right? No, you have a partner and a great partner in that in Nike, and they do these across the country. And so, yeah, there's going to be some uniforms that look similar to other schools. The logo's here, the name's here, or it's in this or that. I mean, that's just kind of what you get, right? As you look around with Nike. And so proud partners of Nike and just really excited about all this coming together. I should point out too. So the thought with the Tuesday release with the first uniforms. And by the way, if you didn't listen to Monday's podcast or Tuesday's podcast, should say, we told you this was coming. We said, watch the full 55 seconds. Okay. And then the last few seconds is going to be important for the remainder of the week. I don't know what that would have been important for if we would have rolled it all out at once, but we told you back on Tuesday. And so,
That's
right. Once again, this was a plan, stuck to it the entire way, and just proud of our entire team doing that and just our fan base too hanging on. But yeah, the Tuesday piece, appreciate good friend Colt Barber. So on Wednesday, this is exactly what we wanted to have happen. On Wednesday, we wanted people to have the conversations about the uniforms and start, he's out there, mixing and matching and doing different things on social media. They're talking about the uniforms, right? They're carrying on the conversation, buying time to get to Thursday. So honestly, it went as strong as we could have imagined, if we would have done it all over again. No changes whatsoever. So really proud of the team and got to give a shout out to Football Creative, Hannah Kutlaric, Jay Crane, Clay Medling, adding helicopters into the video reveal. I mean, you're talking about some all-nighters. I mean, he probably put, 50, 60 hours into that video. I mean, he is editing, he's shooting, he's storyboarding. I mean, doing all kinds of work. Mason Marshall, also with that Football Creative team, Joe Gonzalez, Matthew Kirchner, Josh Freilich, a lot of others. Don't want to leave anybody out. The entire equipment staff helping us out, right? We're trying to do that. Facility staff. It takes a lot of work to do this. Once again, it's not just a deal like, oh, shoot, someone said a bad comment on social media. We need to roll these out tomorrow. Like that doesn't happen. Okay. Not with the high quality production that you saw with that video. I mean, that's got a lot of people's eyes on it. Hey, how we look about this. And all, by the way, how to keep this under tight wraps, right? You got people like Jerry Hill. Hey, what's going on here? I didn't hear about uniforms. When are we releasing these? When's the uniform? What's the color? Can you show me a sneak peek? I got former players hitting me up, and I'm not giving, and I don't blame you, by the way. Don't blame you. We're the creative team, so you got to have your eyes on this stuff, and you got to be playing with it, right? You got to be playing with the tools and getting all this stuff ready for the fans. But yeah, former players were hitting me up and, trying to get sneak peeks. And I was just like, I don't know about any uniforms. I don't know what you're talking about.
And I'll say this, and you did a little bit of that too, tuning their horns. Man, I think these kinds of things, these kinds of projects show the talent that we have at Baylor. Just so many creative, talented people. And this is a platform for it. But man, it just shows you the amount of talent, the level of talent that we have here at Baylor, and we're fortunate. I mean, I I'm sure there are talented people everywhere in the country, but I'm talking about our team, our staff. Man, these are all just really good people, and they do great work. And I think this just kind of illustrates what we're saying here is these are very talented, creative people. Joe's I think he's got to be like one of the best in the business. I mean, you can see his work all around town. So just one of the most creative people I've ever been around. So just exciting because I like to see them get the credit they deserve every once in a while. And I'm sure they get some criticism too. I was going to ask you this too, Justin. I don't know if you've monitored this. Fans aside, what was kind of the reaction, maybe more of a national scale or other media, whatever it would be, outside of the fans? What kind of reaction were you seeing the uniforms getting?
Yeah, I think overall in its entirety, positive.
Yeah.
I'd say positive. I think there's a couple pieces here. So naturally, we've all worked in a workplace where in social media, especially on X, Twitter, that is a keyboard warrior spot. A lot of burner accounts. You don't have full names with bios like, hey, I work at X place and I'm this title. And not a lot of people are doing that, right? Instagram more, but even some people got some private stuff and they don't comment all the time. So a lot of burner accounts, not real people showing their names. So, when you're hiding around a keyboard, you're going to say, kind of whatever comes to your mind, no filter. And I don't care about who you are. If you got no filter, generally it might go first reaction, gut, and it probably is going to go more negative than positive. Also in the workplace, when you're working around negative people, you're going to share that negativity with comments. So if I really like the uniforms and there's 5 or 6 negative comments, I maybe don't say positive because then I got people attacking me, right? So the negative can kind of shut out the positive. But yeah, I think I think our fans were obviously excited about the anthracite. I think opposing fans in the Big 12, you think about rivals around, and you can start guessing schools. They are going to be negative no matter what it is for the most part. But yeah, I think national media, hey, this is an opportunity for national media to see Baylor, right? And to think about, us unleashing new uniforms and kind of a new mindset, a new offense, a new defense, a lot of different coaching staff members, a new, a transfer portal, a lot of guys coming in there, some impact players there, a new class of freshmen. I mean, a lot of newness. And so this is just kind of, part of that process and heading into next fall and really looking forward to that. So once again, when you're doing this stuff, you got to have some thick skin. You can't go to the comments and be like, oh, they all hate it and I'm just going to whatever. Like you can't do that. And so we've been doing this for a while. And yeah, I'll say our team is tremendous. Joe's tremendous. Anything creative, I'm going to try to get him in there. Our Baylor Vision team is tremendous, Baylor Plus, and everybody that does all this stuff. But yeah, there's tremendous people across the country. There's a lot of creatives, a lot of people that do this stuff all the time and always inspired by their work. But yeah, it takes a lot of work and takes trust from, Mac and Javon and the administration. And these are not easy things to do, right? You got a lot of confidential info here. You got to make, you got a vision, a plan, you got to execute it, you got to carry it out. It takes a lot of work and time, but hey, the payoff is definitely worth it. And as I said earlier in the week, these are all fun, but the real fun is when you get to see the uniforms in person. You get to see them on TV. That is number one for me. But obviously football can be a year-round thing. We're in Texas, and that's just part of what we do. And so this is more discussion into the summer. I'm sure people are really excited about this, and I know the players are really excited. When we just a little bit on the players, they all loved them. And I know it's a big piece of this, right? Like, what are the
right? Yeah,
and Jerry, you said that before. Like, I don't care really what I think. Do the players like them? That's all that
all
matters,
the players,
right?
Yeah, it's to me that's the big thing. Like, I'm not saying fans or whoever doesn't matter, but to me, it is the players that really matter because they're the ones that are going out there in them. They're the ones that need to like them. And I like the way you put it too, Justin, that this to me really is kind of a fresh start. with so many portal guys coming in, a great freshman class, so many new coaches, and it needed to be. After last year, I think we needed a fresh start, and this just kind of adds to that. This is a completely fresh start. And yeah, and like you said, I think the players are the most important people in all of this, that if they like those, hey, look good, feel good, play good. That's the cliche. So I think we're gonna see that in the fall.
Yeah, and no matter what's going on in college athletics, I still think uniforms and how you look matters. It may not matter the same as it did 10 years ago, but it matters. It still matters for the brand. And so every time you see that BU is so important. You see Baylor wordmark, you see the BU logo, is so critical. It's our brand. It's when I walk out to the grocery store at HEB, if I act a fool in the BU outfit, that's not good. That's not good for the brand. That's not good for the athletic department. So you are representing this place at all times. And so just could not be more grateful to work here. It's a special place. It's a special fan base. And so we appreciate the passion, love the passion. That means it's a big time fan base. It's a big time school. And it's great. And I will say one more thing too. How about to those guys that played in 13, 14? Okay, I got here in 2014. I worked at another place in 2013. And came to that first game where we wore the chrome uniforms against West Virginia, and the Bears ran the Mountaineers off the turf over at Floyd Casey at that time. But I've been around. Thankfully, I was able to, when there was opportunity to speak into the tradition or the history, we made sure Joe's got me by a year that we spoke into this and representing those players, because those are some of my favorite times. Working here at Baylor, thinking about those teams, the Big 12 championship, the touchdowns, the exciting offense, the players, all those kind of things, everything that looked that way. It's a different time now. It's 2024. You're not going to replicate that, but there was an opportunity to pay homage to it. And that's what we did with the Bear Claw, kind of the look and the feel of the uniforms, the rollout, how we did the video. A lot of that was intentional. And so I just think about those guys. I was on the field with those guys, the Bryce Pettys, the Corey Colemans, those guys. I saw those jerseys up close and personal. I saw how much it meant. I was able to touch those jerseys, see those highlights, work with those things. And I know that seeing those jerseys and seeing this rollout today means a lot to those guys. And we wouldn't be where we are today, a big time program, without those guys. And so I just really appreciate those guys. And I hope they take a small win here, that they're like, man, this is really cool. And I'm excited about the upcoming season. And of course, we're on November 2nd against TCU. We're going to welcome those guys to the field there. And so really looking forward to that game. At 13, 14 teams. Those are special. Our first two Big 12 champions, Jerry. And so I just think this week is a huge win for Baylor athletics. Let's think about the fall season. He'll be here before you know it. August 31st, 6 o'clock, Big 12 Now, ESPN Plus against Tarleton. All right, Jerry, let's finish it out. Baylor Track and Field, 10 entries going off to Eugene, Tracktown, USA, beginning next week on the ESPN family of networks. What can we expect?
Yeah, I think it's a great group going. You'd like for more numbers to be going, but I think it really is that, quality over quantity here. And I think there are some real legitimate, championship contenders. Zaza has the number one mark in the country in the men's javelin at over 270 feet. So, he is not only just a medal contender, he's a contender to win a national championship. Almost would be an upset if he doesn't win it. He's been right there. And I think he's got a chance to win a championship next week up in Eugene. And certainly Nathaniel Ezekiel in the 400-meter hurdles. He's been one of the top guys all year. He was only third at the NCAA West prelims, but he won every heat that he was in. So he beat the competition that he was against. And I know that, when push comes to shove at Eugene and he needs to run what he needs to run, he'll do it. I know a big goal for him is breaking 48, getting into the 47s. And that's going to be, that's going to be his goal in Eugene. And he wants to run that again in Paris in the Olympics when he's representing Nigeria. So and those both happen to be Nigerians. And I think they have probably the best chance of Baylor athletes, but I like Alexis Brown too. former Florida transfer that's been here a couple of years, really her first year healthy. And she set the long jump record, kind of blew it out of the water. She's at 22.5, and I think she's got a legitimate chance to not only make the finals, but maybe, again, contend for a championship or at least say top 3, top 5. Which would be a great accomplishment for her. And then, both the men's relays, 4x1, 4x4, they're there along with Demontre Callis in the 100 and 200, Lorenz Colbert in the 200, and then Molly Haywood in the women's pole vault. So that's the 10 going. I also like the women's 4x1. I mean, they really killed it at the NCAA West prelims, running a school record 42.66. So those are probably our top contenders. You'd like to see them all make the finals and medal and all that. But I think, our best bets are probably more in the field events with Zaza and Alexis Brown, but then Ezekiel in the 400 hurdles. That's what I got, and hopefully they all win. Let's just finish out the year on a strong note, Justin. Let's go into the summer, and then let's get excited about football in the fall with all these new uniforms, the anthracite, all of that. Let's get pumped. Let's get ready to play.
Way to bring the energy on this final show.
The last one. You had to wait for the last one for me to bring the energy.
Man, it took a long time, but yeah, ESPN Family and Networks, looking forward to track and field. You want to follow more action, go check it out on ESPN, also Baylor Track, social media, and also on BaylorPlus.com. We'll take a break and then pick back up in August with Inside Baylor Sports, with fall camp getting underway for Baylor Athletics. But that'll do it for today's edition of Inside Baylor Sports, a Sport and Story production. Thanks for listening. For Jerry Hill, I'm Justin Hoff. Have a great summer, and Sick 'em Bears.
Sick 'em Bears.